Mormonism, Catholicism, Evangelicalism, attempted suicides. It was an eventful night out in Wigan. Hello everybody, thanks for watching this video. I hope you and your family are well at this time. If you do like this video, consider hitting the like button, or even better, subscribe so that you're notified when I add new videos. Now, just to help there was no attempted suicides on this night, but when we spoke to a few people, as you'll hear shortly, there were some terrible things that happened in the past to some people. So hopefully this goes smooth and doesn't go everywhere, because there's a lot to get through. Firstly, it's so ironic that when we go out, generally there's a theme of the night, the people we speak to, there's things in common, there's a general ideas for what's happened to them, and tonight was exactly the same. So we went out into Wigan town centre, me and Paul. There's a lot more people, however we got there and it was pouring down. So that wasn't the best start, but this was a fantastic night. So the first two people we spoke to, the first man, he was a security guard, and he said, in his words, he was a bad Mormon. And what he meant by that was, he said he was a Mormon, but he still lived the life of the world, the sin, etc. He was a wonderful man. He's been through the training to be a Mormon, and he's qualified and been through all of whatever you go through to be a Mormon, etc. But he's gone away from it because of the teachings or how he's been treated. And this is a big point that I want to come across in this video, how we treat people. The conversation was as if he was bound in chains. He wasn't free following this Mormonism. He said it was, either him or the next person said it was a cult. But these aren't free. They tell you, you do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. This is not free. Jesus didn't die to make us put on the handcuffs. He died so that we'll take the handcuffs off and we're free. But in his experience, that's how it wasn't working like that. Wonderful guy. Me and Paul spoke to him for a while, and several years ago he tried to commit suicide, and thank God that didn't happen. Obviously been through some terrible times, but hopefully he comes to know the true Jesus of the Bible, and not the one that Mormon teaches. And strangely enough, that's the first Mormon I've ever come across. And even stranger, 10 minutes before Paul was about to pick me up this same evening, I was watching a video on YouTube with an evangelical pastor debating against a Mormon. Seriously, ironic or what? And I'll get to the scriptures in a minute regarding how to combat Mormons. But please keep him in your mind. He's obviously searching. He thinks that there's something out there, but obviously the past and what have you was all maybe confused him a little bit, as it would potentially would. And then another man came along, and he was a Catholic. So there's me, Paul, Christians, we have a Catholic and a bad Mormon. Again, he was a very, very wise man with what he was saying. Great thoughts, but again, he's had a past, he's had issues, and that's affected his life, and he's obviously searching. But he kind of told me, I asked him, why are you out? And he kind of told me, because I'm out to steal and get up to no good. And seriously, this is what he said. And he took a Bible, a full Bible. So please keep him in your mind. Hopefully me and Paul made a good impression on him also. I think he was telling me to be a little bit careful, because as we got talking for a while, he was saying he's training, but he currently doesn't have a job. So naturally, I'm thinking, okay, do you need anything? So I said, do you need anything? Food, whatever it is. Money, I don't know. The littlest can help. And he said, yes. So I went to the cash machine, got a small amount, and was going to give it to him. But then he started telling me that I need to be careful. I was getting the impression he might have took it as an offence if I give him some money. And a point on this is, I want to stay true to myself. God uses us to help others. So if we can do a small part and help someone in whatever situation, then that's what we're here for. And that person hopefully helps the next person. And it's a chain. And that's all I was doing. I didn't for 1 minute think I was doing anything wrong, but I didn't give it him in the end. but he was a really good guy. So please keep him in your mind, that he might read the scriptures, and Jesus might help him with those past issues in his life. So those are the first two people. Then the next person I went speaking to, honestly, he said in his word generally, it was, I was a Christian, but now I'm not. So I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, I was raised a Mormon for 17 years or 18 years. 2 Mormons straight back to back. Now, he understood it, but this is very sad. He left because of how he was treated. He told he had to speak a certain way, dress a certain way. And again, this is religion at its finest. It's keeping people in bondage. People don't enjoy this, and hence why he's got out of it. And now he says, I don't believe any longer at all. This is so sad. We need to stop this, people. So we had a wonderful conversation for a while, and again in 2018, he's in his early 20s, he also told me that he tried to commit suicide. So 2 people tried to commit suicide for whatever reasons. So this just shows that people need the gospel. There's a lot of people in our world, in our society, in our area, who have pain, who maybe don't show it externally but hide it internally. We need to show love and help people, because we can completely condemn people and send them down a completely wrong route in life. So I gave him the gospel, told him why I was out there, and I asked him, have you got any prayer requests? And listen to this. He said, if you could pray for somebody, one of my friends, who basically, his friend had mistreated the man he was with, and he was saying, can I pray for him? What hurt that is for him, that he didn't ask himself for anything. It was for the person who had been nasty to him. So he was a wonderful guy. He didn't take any literature, but literally showed him the scriptures, went through my tracks with him, and he was a loving and very warm and gentle man, and hopefully, and he did tell me this, it came off the other side also. So I didn't speak to many, but it was deep conversations, and that's what I like. I want to go out and make disciples, as I've mentioned before. I don't just want to go out and just hand somebody something and give them the gospel and walk away. I want to get connections, and I find that people might be more open when they come to trust and know who you are, and that's what I'm trying to do. So if you come across a Mormon, what scriptures should you go to? And this is all about Jesus, and there's 3 scriptures that you need to go to, and we're going to hit them off now. John chapter 1 verse 1. So these are the scriptures. Who is Jesus? John chapter 1 verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So who is the Word? Verse 14, and the Word became flesh. So the Word is talking about Jesus. So Jesus was in the beginning with God and was God. Okay, next one is John chapter 17 verse 5. John 17 verse 5. You ready? Who is Jesus? Jesus speaking. Now, Father, glorify me together with yourself, with the glory which I had with you before the world was. So again, Jesus was there before the world was. And the last one is Colossians chapter 1, 15 through 17. 16 through 17, and it reads, for by him, Jesus, all things were created, both in the heavens and on the earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities. All things have been created through him and for him. 17. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. So he created all things, he was before all things, and he holds all things together. So who is Jesus according to the Bible? Obviously Jesus is God, and he has existed forever. Before the world was, before anything was, Jesus, just I am. So those 3 scriptures for Mormons. Who is Jesus? Now just back to my Mormonism example of being in bondage and fear, the wrong type of fear, and religion based. I'm free. I'm out there in the streets in Paul because we want to be there. Please understand that. If I never go to church ever again, I'm still guaranteed heaven because I put my faith in Jesus. If I never read the Bible again, when I die, 100% I go to heaven because I put my trust and faith in Jesus. So what I'm trying to say, I am out there because I want to be out there, not because I have to be. That's the big difference between a relationship with Jesus and religion. a religion bound by fear, guilt. You have to do, you can't do, you have to do, rules, regulations, blah, blah. Oh, it must just drain you. A Bible-believing Christian is free, and they do it out of love because of what God has done for them. Lastly, I just want to touch on how we can, her actions to people can send them on to completely different routes in life. So on the news recently is Britney Spears, and she has said a quote which is, open quote, "I don't believe in God anymore because of the way my children and my family have treated me," close quote. How sad is it that Jesus is impacted by how a person treats another person? So she doesn't believe because of the way her children and family have treated her. We can't put our trust in people. We put our trust and hope and faith in Jesus. So, but that doesn't mean that a man, woman can't just bring a person down. I 100% believe you cannot lose your salvation if you put your faith and trust in Jesus, truly. But this just shows that, look, it's just not nice. On the flip side, by loving, caring, showing compassion, empathy, we can maybe lead people to Jesus. So we can condemn and draw people away, or we can draw people near. And as a Christian, we need to decide which are we going to do. So I ask you watching this video now, if you're a Christian, are you living a Christ-like life? Would people come away from speaking to you with a positive view of Christianity? Or are you bringing a bad name to Jesus by being unloving, unkind, hypocritical, and just a nasty person? Live a life like Jesus today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I know I might have went around the houses there, but wonderful conversation. So I encourage you, if you have it on your heart to go out and speak to people like me and Paul are doing, then please message me or Paul. We'd love you to join us and get involved, because for one, you're blessing other people, and two, it's completely uplifting to yourself. So God bless. Take care. If you've got any questions, message me. I'd love to speak to you. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.